I was all set to go, to press go and to start, and then I suddenly thought, oh, I bet they're going to want to have a look at my Advent projects. So I had to get up and get those. I never get any better, really, do I? I'm going to wait till some more people arrive. Or some people arrive. I'm here by myself at the moment, to show you what I've been working on. And what I'm going to be doing in the meantime is pulling down some projects so that I have needles and things to do other stuff with. Oh. So, first week of Vlogmas. What's happened? Well, I'll start with last Sunday. I was dyeing some yarn last Sunday. Just one special skein. Oh, morning, Mandy. And Manfa, is that? Oh, Manfa's makes. Nice to meet you too. And Nikki. Oh, Nikki, you didn't nearly miss me at all. I've only just got here. You're fine. Yes, so I was dyeing this skein of yarn last Sunday as a special gift for somebody. And I was steaming it above the pan. So I had a pan, just like you steam vegetables, pan underneath full of water, steaming section in the pan and the yarn in the steaming bit. And I steamed it for however long. And then I thought I turned it off and left it to cool, just left it to sit there and cool. And I was just sitting down, Dave and I were just sitting down to watch something, and I picked up my knitting and I went, what's that funny smell? So I went out into the kitchen to check, and the knob on our cooker, if you turn it clockwise, you turn it off. If you turn it anti-clockwise, you just turn it down to a low heat. Hi, Kaz. In the middle between the two is high heat, and I'd obviously turned it anti-clockwise and turned it down, not off. So, hello Caroline, all the water had boiled away, leaving the residue of citric acid and a little bit of acid dye in the pan, which seemed to have caught fire, because coming up, oh, hello, other Caroline. Very nice. Coming up between the pan and the steamer basket was some interestingly coloured smoke, and it absolutely stank. So I stood there looking at it. I turned it off, first of all. I stood there going, Dave. Hello, Connie. We're good. How are you? And he came running in and took the pan outside, lifted the steam a bit out and poured a load of water into it. Oh, thank you. This is Silosius by Jennifer Steingass. I thought the pan was ruined because there was this thick black residue in the bottom of the pan, but in actual fact, once the pan cooled down, it just kind of like broke out. It was really good, but the kitchen was uninhabitable for quite some time. You couldn't really see much smoke, but it was really, it must have been quite dangerous. It was very acrid. Your eyes watered and you couldn't breathe. So I was sat outside in the garden. Oh no, yes, I'm afraid so. Hello, Anne. I was sat outside in the garden in the dark in November in a t-shirt like this. Dave went to his workshop and came out with this respirator mask that he wears for paint spraying and stuff. and went in and opened all the windows and the doors in the house and turned the extractor on and everything. And eventually we cleared the smoke. Oh, hello! Which one of you is that, Woolen Wishes ladies? Is that Tracy or Kirsty? I know, Caroline, you asked me that before. There's lots of soft ones out there. I've never had Aldi yarn, which I think I said to you before. Lots of my friends knit with it, but we haven't got an Aldi, so I've never tried it. And they tell me that Aldi have changed their... Oh, it was a cowl. I did about 4 rows on it and then never bothered with the rest. Yeah, they've changed their supplier. It's not made in the same place anymore. And the quality seems to have changed as well. It wasn't really scary. It was a little bit, well, we couldn't get, you can still smell it in the kitchen now, and I've like scrubbed everything. If you want a good acrylic yarn, Caroline, I would try Stylecraft Special DK. You can get it online. You can get it, I think, in Hobbycraft. But yeah, you'll find that lots of places, and I've never had any problem with that. I think it's lovely. Oh, it's Kirsty. Hello, Kirsty. It's always Dave to the rescue. Yeah, that's kind of his job. I bought him a t-shirt once with "Keep calm and let Dave handle it" on it. Yeah, so that was Sunday. The rest of the week was fairly uneventful. Are you? I am in Somerset, but I'm from Croydon, just outside London. So we're probably not terribly far apart. Well, Cornwall. There's Devon in between us, but not far. Yeah, rest of the week was pretty uneventful. Yesterday morning, well, thank you for joining us. Yeah, King Cole Drifter's quite nice. Is that, it's a mix, isn't it? It's acrylic and something. I used some a while ago. I've got a cardigan in it. Oh no, that's Crofter. I'm thinking of Crofter, not Drifter. Yeah, yesterday morning, Rocket, who's Poppy's brother. Are you? Well, you're going to be needing to knit some baby clothes then, aren't you? I suspect. Blankets at the very least. Yeah, Rocket, Poppy's brother, decided to bring a mouse in and wake me up at about 5:45 because his mouse had gone behind the wardrobe. Oh gosh, honestly, Manford, there's loads of us. There's my friend Caroline, who's here, who has the Aria Bark podcast. Kirsty from Woolen Wishes is here. They're another UK podcast. Who else? Why has my mind gone blank? Alex from My Yarny Corner. Sarah, lovely Sarah. Sarah's not in the UK, but she is highly worth watching. I'm going to embarrass her now. She's just put out her first episode and it was excellent. Oh yes, Leslie, not quite enough yarn or not quite enough distance, depending whether you want her vlog or her podcast. Ruth loves to knit. Ruth is in Devon, near Oakhampton, so she's closer to you than I am. Who else is there? Nancy, who's Kitty Scrapper. She's in Norfolk. She does podcasts, but not quite as often as she used to at the moment. She's very busy at work. Sandra Paul, yes, I don't watch her, or at least I've not caught up with her yet. She's crochet, isn't she, rather than knitting? Thank you, Sarah. It's Celosius by Jennifer Steingast. It's my third attempt at it, and I finally managed to. Oh, does she do both? I keep thinking I ought to check it out, but there are so many. Oh, Lorraine, you are still awake. Lorraine is in Australia, and Mimi the cat, and we were Zooming together last night, only last night here, it was very early this morning there. Oh, there. Well, then you're just, if Oakhampton's half an hour away from you, you're about an hour and a half away from me. So, because I'm right on the Devon border. About 10 minutes the other side of Axminster from you. I've completely forgotten what I was saying. I can't do two things at once. And really, I'm trying to have two conversations and rip this thing out. And it's just, no, I can't manage that. Anyone remember what I was talking about? Rocket and his mouse. I think I was talking about Rocket and his mouse. Yeah, he lost a mouse, a live mouse, behind the wardrobe, and I looked, and eventually I got Dave up and we both looked, but we couldn't find it. Yeah. And we gave up. We thought maybe there wasn't a mouse, maybe he was just having a joke. And then last night I went up to make the beds. Oh yes, yeah, let me finish the mouse, then I'll get back to Lorraine. Oh, New York, hello. Yeah, I went up to make the bed last night, and there was a dead mouse laying in the middle of the floor, so it had obviously come out. Oh, hello, Belinda. Is it your lunchtime again? And he dispatched it, unfortunately. Makes me very sad when they have a mouse. Well, it makes me sad when they have anything. Oh, and Austin in Texas. But mice, in particular, for obvious reasons. Fortunately, Kirsty, I used to be a driving instructor. I am no longer a driving instructor because my brain does not work on that level anymore. But I can, at a push, do two things at once. Yes, it was very lovely, especially when it was dead. Yeah, so Lorraine was on Zoom with me last night and some other friends, and it was very early in the morning. We watched dawn come up in Australia, and she said she was going to try and stay awake to join us live, because I think it's now just gone 1 o'clock in the morning tomorrow morning for Lorraine. So she's done really well. She got up early and she stayed up late. No doubt Mimi has had lots of naps in between times. Oh, and another Lorraine. Hello, Lorraine. Lorraine and Mimi, Lorraine. Are you on Instagram? Someone asked me the other day, and then Tonya asked me last night, and I can't get the Instagram on my phone to work at the moment, so I wasn't able to find out. But we weren't sure if you were or not. I don't think you are. She'll get back to me in a minute, I'm sure. I've made quite a knot now. But when I've got this untangled, I'll show you what I've been working on. Well, Advent project wise, I'm not going to show you my Christmas knitting. I had a bit of a disaster with that as well, I forgot to tell you. I was knitting a Musselburgh, and I was running out of yarn, and I started the decreases early because I thought I could maybe eke it out that way, and it wasn't enough even doing that, and it wasn't going to fit very well. It was just going to be like a silly little hat with no turn up or anything. So I pulled down 9.5 inches of that, and it's just going to be an ordinary beanie with a ribbed. Is cuff the right word for a hat? I don't know. bit. Now I've made more of a knot. Yeah, so I can't really show you any of my Christmas gift knitting. I'm trying to do that and keep up brim. Brim would do, yes. Brim is better than cuff. Thank you, Sarah. I'm trying to do that and keep up with my Advent knitting. It's not going very well. I managed the last 2 days to how can I put this? It'll make more sense when I show you the projects. I managed the last 2 days, but yesterday I got no Christmas gift knitting done at all, so that's not going to work because I'm running out of time. We've got on the 17th, we've got a big family dinner. We're all meeting up and exchanging presents, which is something we used to do every year. And we haven't done it for several years for various reasons, not least of all being COVID. And in fact, the last 6 years, the only time we've all got together... Oh, there's Karen. Did I miss you arrive? Sorry, Karen. Hello. Yeah, the only time we've got together over the last 6 years has been for funerals. So this will be a much nicer reason to meet. But obviously I've got family gifts that I need to have ready before then. And my brother's I am going to have to post, which I didn't think I was, but I am. And so with all the postal strikes, I'm running out of time for that as well. Though he probably won't mind if it doesn't get there until after Christmas. I mind, so I want to get it off to him in time. Right, I finished that. Oh, well done. Well done, other Sarah. There are too many of you with the same name now. I think there's 3 Karens, 2 Lorraines, 2 Sarahs, 2 Carolines. You're all confusing. Right, I'm going to show you my Advent projects, but there's days 1 and 2. I won't show you today's yarn in case you're the number 1. Okay. I won't show you today's in case any of you have got the same and haven't opened it yet. This one is my Amanda from Little Lycac Advent. Your 1R, that's true. That is the difference. Though from this distance, trying to read it on the screen, it's... oh, and the kitchen craft is here as well. Yeah, I think it might be an age thing actually, Karen. I am generally permanently confused. So the first couple of days have been very pretty pastel pinks. And with this one, which is Amanda's from Little Lycac. Oh, I forgot I put bits in there. Now they're on the floor. I'm making this, which might be more helpful if I show you my phone actually. It's called a wrap, but it's actually, it's like a waistcoat, a loose waistcoat. Let me see if I've got a picture on my phone. So I'm doing this on my old phone because we discovered during Vlogtober that my old phone doesn't flicker as the messages go up and make everybody feel a bit poorly. Let me see if I can find. Oh yeah. There it is. It's a bit easier to see up when it's in colour. So you knit, or you can knit, and I am choosing to because it's easier, both sides at the same time. I did have both sides on one needle, and last night I got into such a horrible mess because you fade the colours into each other. So at one point I had 4 little balls attached and they were all tied in a knot, and I couldn't remember what row I was on because it was like nearly 600 stitches, because it's knit from the hem over the shoulder and down to the hem at the back or the front, depending which way you're going. Oh, you crochet. See, I'm the other way round. I am a very novice crocheter. Yeah, so you've got a lot of stitches, and I had it on a great long 1.5 meter cable, which I thought would be easier, and in actual fact just added to the tying everything in knots situation. So I've split it onto 2 cables now. Her Royal Highness is downstairs. She is underneath the coffee table in the secret bed. I found it last year, Mandy, and I got it last year and then ended up making a shawl instead. So that you don't miss out on Her Majesty, I did take a picture of her while I was having my lunch to send to my husband. That was my lunch. That's Big Lily, who is mad for tomato soup, and you can see Poppy in the background, who's hoping for the batter of my bread. Lily was practically in the bowl. Every time I stopped spooning, she'd be like, "Not yet." I know, that is her. How could you possibly eat all that soup? That is my soup. Stop being so greedy. When you make tomato soup, I mean, it's in a tin. I'm not claiming to make it. I heat it up. No, you're quite right, Anne. It's not. You have to wash the tin out and put it straight in the recycling, because she has cut her tongue before trying to lick the soup out of the tin. And I live in horror of her getting her head stuck in the sharp tin. She's very greedy. Yeah, we used to have 2 cats and a dog. Now we have 4 cats. The dog did at least not try and climb on your plate. She was pretty good, actually. I've talked about her before. She was trained to be a guide dog and then failed her guiding exams. So she was really well behaved most of the time around food. Yeah, they all do that, don't they? Haven't been fed for a while. So the other Advent project that I'm knitting is from the Knit Vent pattern, and again it's in black and white. I'm sorry, the printer's getting really low on coloured ink. It's the Anthology Throw by Helen Stewart, and Alex from My Yarny Corner has just knit this, and sorry about all the noise. Yes, she was too excitable. She was really good in the house, but when you put her on a lead, she was just not uncontrollable, but she was here, she was there. Honestly, if you were blind, she'd have had you run over 15 times before you'd got a mile down the road. She was a bit of a nightmare. Yeah, Alex has just finished knitting this and enjoyed it so much, and so I decided I was going to use it for my Advent from Alex. So this is days 1 and 2 of the My Yarny Corner. It's looking, on my screen anyway, like they're both the same. They're not. There is, let me find a bit. There's, oh no, it's not showing up. There's green and yellow, stronger yellow in the second skein, whereas the first one from the centre out is paler. And I can see why she loved it so much. I'm finding it very hard to put down. But of course I ran out of that day's yarn, so I had to put it down until today. I've not wound today's yet because I've had a bit of a lazy start to the morning. So I can't knit on those yet because I haven't worn the wound. Haven't wound the yarn even. But I'm going to do that when I finish this. I'm going to wind it up and take it downstairs with me. And I'm going to have a bit of a relaxing afternoon catching up on some vlogs. I've managed today to watch Aria Bark and Calm as a Stitch. They're the only 2 I've managed to watch today so far. So I've got a few more to catch up on. I watched Alex's. think I watched Alex's last night when I went to bed. Day 2. Pretty sure I watched it last night when I went to bed. I swear I did, Alex. I'm inclined to watch podcasts when I go to bed to sort of wind my brain down. I know they say you shouldn't look at a screen, but it doesn't seem to have any ill effect on me, and it stops my brain racing through other stuff and preventing me from going to sleep. So I quite frequently watch a podcast and then go straight to sleep and forget that I've watched it. I swear I have watched it, Alex. I'm trying to think of something that happened in it to prove that I watched it. I can't think of anything. I'm glad you think that, Valerie. I presume you mean this, or are you talking about Alex? Though I think, to be honest, we both aim for that. I can't be doing all that, you know, professional podcaster thing. Someone said in the comments on my last podcast, I really like your presenting style. There is no presenting style. The girls who join me on Zoom will tell you this is what you get on Zoom. It's what you get if you come around for a cup of tea. This is just it. I can't do proper. Yeah, I must admit, I find that I'm drawn to similar podcasts where it feels like you're sitting down and chatting with a friend rather than being given a lecture on how to knit something. And I'm not putting down any other podcasters who are different. Yes, Caroline, there was very nearly, I heeded your warning not to be drinking my coffee while I watched you this morning, because there were a couple of moments when I really sort of laughed out loud. The cardigan. Having been pre-warned about the cardigan, I was watching for the buttons. Thank you. Or should I apologise? I'm not sure. Yeah, if you haven't watched Caroline's podcast, Caroline is the Aria Bark podcast. If you haven't watched today's vlog, not vlog, is it vlog? It's vlog, isn't it? See, my brain's confused itself now because I was trying to read and speak at the same time. If you haven't watched day 2, you really need to watch it. And all I'm going to say is look for the buttons. That's the only clue I'm going to give you. Yeah, Karen's one of us. Yeah, no polishing here. The trouble is there are so many, aren't there? I'm trying to keep up with Caroline's Aria Bark, Alex, Tonya, who is calm as a stitch. I haven't even started watching Karen's. Karen is recreational knitting. I'm watching Leslie's. And that's really the 5 that I'm trying to keep up with. And I've already failed to keep up with Karen's, but that's one that I'm going to catch up with this afternoon. But yeah, there are so many. And if you watch and like a lot of podcasters, I mean, we've got a friends group going, really, a Zoom friends group. Oh, I hope he's feeling good. And it's really hard to keep up with them, isn't it? Which is another reason that I decided to do this like this, the same as I did Vlogtober, because at least this is just one, and it might go on for sort of half an hour, 40 minutes, but it's only one, and you can catch it live or not at all, or it automatically uploads and you can watch it later if you want to. You could watch it later in the year, you could watch it next year, you know. Whereas I don't think I could have kept up with an everyday vlog because I don't really do anything of interest every day. And then there's all the editing and the uploading, and it's hard work. It's a lot harder work than you imagine it's going to be. So, you know, well done, ladies who have got the stamina to do it every day, because I certainly haven't. Yes. Yeah, so this is probably, if I do this again, and I probably will, Vlogtober and what have you, it will probably be this format forevermore, because A, it's less difficult for me, and B, I really like the fact that we can interact and, you know, I can chat with you all. It feels, when I sit down to record a podcast, I feel like I'm talking to other people anyway. I feel like those of you that pop up in the comments, I've said this before, it feels like chatting to friends, even though I'm sat here in the room on my own talking to my phone. Yeah, I can't imagine how you do that. I really can't. But this is nice because you get to talk back to me, so I enjoy that. It was terrifying, absolutely terrifying. The first couple in October, I was shaking. I was so nervous. But now it's just the same as going on Zoom or just recording the podcast normally. It's just, I've been very lucky, I think, that no strange people have infiltrated so far. I have got the thing on YouTube, allows you to, it will, I don't know quite how it does it. I'm assuming what it does is it looks for keywords and it will sort of assess comments before it allows them through, which is why there's a bit of a time delay between you typing it out and me seeing it on the screen. YouTube is kind of auditing it before it'll let me see it. I know. I'm going to have a look for you because I haven't found you before. That's going to be my next mission this afternoon, along with winding the yarn and catching up with the vlogs, is finding you and having a look at. It would be nice to see what you look like, because you know what I look like. If that doesn't sound creepy, that sounds a bit creepy, I'm sure. Oh, that was a long one. Okay. They wouldn't dare, would they, Caroline? Not with you around. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, I don't know if you can do it until it's gone up. But if you want to, Sam, put your link in the comments. If you can't, I don't know if it will let you. If you can't, I'll try and find you and put your link in the description box. When this goes up, after a little while, I can get in and add things. Okay. I don't know how to make you a moderator. I'll put you in the description box. So I should probably write that down. If I haven't done it, somebody remind me in the comments. You can still comment when the video's up as not live. I don't know what it's called when it's not live. Musketeers. Oh, I like that. I like that, Musketeers. I'm gonna write that down, that's for sure. I will. I'm gonna have to write this down because I'm gonna forget it all. Right. Hang on. Where is the page? Okay. So you want a link to Manfors Makes. And one to Aria Bark. Anyone else? Okay, anyone else want any more links put in the box? It won't be for an hour or so because I've got to wait for it to upload, and it does the usual checks before it'll let it go out, I think. If anybody wants any more links, let me know. Right. I think that's probably everything I've got to tell you about today. Caroline, you're saying please. Is there a different one you want, or one of those two? I'll hang about for a minute because, as I say, it takes a minute for it to come through. We've got no decorations up yet. For two reasons. First of all, my youngest child is 21 next month. And also because there is a very limited window of time before decorations become clutter and mess and they've got to go. So it's a delicate balance each year to get it up at just the right time that it feels festive and Christmassy, but not so early that okay, Caroline, not so early that I want them all put away before Christmas Day because it's messy. So they'll probably go up next weekend. Right, I'll do my best. I'm going to write that down because I'm going to forget that as well. You do know, when I see you tonight, if I haven't done it, yell at me. Sorry, I've done it again, haven't I? I've stopped talking and I'm just sat here writing. Okay, Belinda, we're just about to finish anyway. So nice to spend your lunchtime with you. I hope you have a good day. I know this time of year in retail is madness. Ewan's gone off to work today, dreading it, but he is allowed to wear his Christmas sweater, so that's okay. I'm glad I'm not the only one. I sometimes feel like a bit of a Grinch, but I'm sure the rest of the family hate me for the whole of the Christmas period, because if there's decorations up, there can be no other mess. Do not leave your shoes in the middle of the living room. Don't put anything down on the sideboard. It needs to go where it's going. It can't stop halfway. There can be no mess at all apart from the Christmas decorations. I'm hellish to live with, really. I dare say you all think I'm quite a sweet, nice person. I'm not. It's like living with Attila the Hun. I wouldn't. I must admit, I like the Christmas tree because I like the lights on it. But that's it. That sounds like a good plan. I probably wouldn't bother. But then I do feel a bit guilty, especially for Ewan, because he is only 21. Well, not even quite. Oh. Oh, lucky Andrew. Oh. Yeah. People tend to forget that Christmas isn't always fun and joy and like the adverts and the films on the television would have you believe. Sometimes it's a really tough time. And I did talk about this last year, that, you know, sometimes the thing that people most want to do at Christmas is just forget about the fact that it's happening. So I know I do. I know, Raylene. But I feel you might know me better than that. Yeah, my daughter-in-law's birthday is the 29th of November. Oh, me. Lorraine, well done. You have made it so well. It must be coming up on 2 o'clock in the morning, tomorrow morning for you. So good night, and good night to Mimi. You should try. You really should try. Zoom has been so brilliant for all of us. Oh, Sarah, I'm sorry to hear that. That is tough. Yeah. I lost my dad when I was 7. He sort of took to his, well, I was going to say took to his bed, but he didn't. He laid on the sofa all over Christmas, and he died a few weeks after. So Christmas can sometimes be a bit tough. We would love to have you, Lorraine. You are very welcome to join us. We're all completely mad. But so long as you're prepared for that, it's fine. And I've distracted myself again and lost my thread. Yes. My daughter-in-law's birthday is the 29th of November. So we try not to be too Christmassy until after her birthday, because it doesn't seem very fair. Apart from Ewan, I tell a lie, it wasn't. My best friend and her husband, one of their birthdays is the day after the other. And Ewan wanted to know if he could get them both a card, the same card. If he could save money on one card and give them a card together. And I said, well, no, you can't. How would you like it if we bought one card for you and Peter, his brother, and made you share it? And he went, well, that's different. He's a strange boy. He's very generous, but at the same time, he's kind of the embodiment of Scrooge. For instance, that soup that I had for my lunch today, he bought me yesterday on his way back from the gym because he knew I liked tomato soup. Ewan's birthday is the end of January. And my husband's is in February. So, yeah, November, December, January and February are quite expensive in our house. Oh, that's nice. Anyway, we've hit 42 minutes again. I don't know how this happens. I sit down here and I think, how am I going to stretch it out for half an hour? And the next thing I know, it's like creeping up on 3/4 of an hour. Oh, that was bad planning, Valerie. So I think we should probably start wrapping it up. Christmas pun. That's true, Sarah, it does. And I will see you all next week, same time, same place. My elder son's is in July, Caroline. And until then, stay calm. Enjoy whatever you want to do. Oh, Connie. 4 birthdays in December, 4 in January, and then 4 in March. Yee. You too, Mandy. Have a good week, all of you. I will see you next Saturday. I'm going to call you all the Mouseketeers now. And I'm actually going to go now. I keep saying I'm going. Part of the reason I haven't gone is I've forgotten how. I do this every time. At least I can remember how to start it now. I just can't remember how to get out. You're very welcome, Sam. I hope you'll be back again. I'm off to look for you in a minute. Bye, Sarah. Bye, everybody. I'm going to press some buttons now and then I might go. Bye, Kirsty. See you later, guys. No, not that one. That's how to share. What about that one? Let's try that one. No, we're still... Oh, dearie, dearie me. What about that one? No, I don't want to be live. Stop. Don't. No, stop. Guys, I think I'm still here and I'm trying not to be very... I'm going to have to turn the phone off or something. Why won't it go? Stop laughing at me. I'm trying to leave you. Oh my gosh. Right, one of these has got to be. Oh yes, that's it.